All right, dun dun dun. We have the finals of Duels of Runeterra number 17, day 2, the second finals. There's a lot of numbers. There's so many tournaments in one weekend. There's like tournament version 1.3.21. I don't know, man. It's confusing. All I know is we got a finals. That's all that matters. Somebody's winning. Somebody's taking home the prize pool. It is what it is. We got Type V versus Asher. They're both on Team Aretuza. It's going to be lit. One of the reasons, which I alluded to in the last video, why you should be at the cast and at the stream when it is live, is we got a chance to interview the winner. And yeah, that's pretty cool. We get to see some insight into some plays that were made, etc., etc. So you got to be there. Be there, be square, all right? But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into game 1 here and see who's going to be able to be the victor of Duels of Runeterra 17.2 NA.
Okay, so Hunter's going to be queuing up the Lee Sin deck here for game number 1, and it's going to be going up against Twisted Fate Swain.
And here we go. Looks like we're going to go ahead and get on into the game. And I promise you, it is actually, because I had the other one set up, so it's not BBG versus Zeramis. It's Asher.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
this is,
right?
That's an old one.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be Asher versus HunterV here. Very, very excited to see who's able to take this one home for Team Aretuza, because they are both Team Aretuza members.
And on the side of Hunter, we have, a pretty ideal opening for this Twisted Fate. For this Zed Lee Sin, we do have the Zenith Blade, the Deny, Nopified be really cool, but we only see one spell on the side of Asher, who, a little bit of an awkward hand. Arachnoid Sentry doesn't always find as much value as you would like in a matchup like this. It's not often that your opponent is actually going for some kind of developmental attack. It's generally going to be some burst spells into, I guess we would call it a soft open attack, because it's not exactly, it's not the first action that you take on the turn, but it's not like your opponent has a priority sequence in between.
And yeah, I do apologize for the in and out on Asher's stream. He did warn me beforehand it would be a little bit of crappy quality, but we do get the, the seizures of the hand viewed every so often. Yeah, we can see the hand, okay? That's what matters. And yeah, very curious here to see how this Lee Sin and Pirate Aggro matchup pans out. We used to see this a lot, I feel, when Lee Sin was very popular. Who do you think usually has the advantage here, Boulevard?
So, for the longest time, it was TF Swain. People would tell me otherwise, and then I would go back and watch the VODs, and TF Swain was just absolutely smashing the Lee Sin deck every time we saw it. Granted, the games always looked close, but as far as actual wins and losses, TF Swain was hard taking it away. Then Nopify came out, and once again, people were like, okay, yeah, Lee Sin has a phenomenal Twisted Fate Swain matchup. Mm-hmm. And then I go back and check the VODs, and it's like 5 wins for Twisted Fate Swain and 1 win for Lee Sin. And I'm just like, on paper, this matchup seems like it's Lee Sin favored, but in practice so far, that has not actually been the case. Now, I'm not sure about the adaptations that the players have made coming into this tournament specifically, as well as the Make It Rain nerf is something that the Twisted Fate Swain has to deal with, but and I'm not sure exactly of the build that Asher is running, but we have seen a lot of TF Swain decks go a lot more aggressive, run a lot more 1-drops. We see Salty Simon pick up the win in EU with things like Krusty Codger and Jagged Butcher even in the main deck. I don't think Asher has gone that aggressive a route, but I will say that for the most part, Twisted Fate Swain has been able to overcome all of the odds and consistently beat this Lee Sin deck.
Yeah, so we'll see if that's going to be the case here, if it is able to level up as well, this Twisted Fate. We are already playing a Zenith Blade on the Spacey Sketcher. Bold move, Cotton. And we'll see if this is going to get any work done here. It will trade better with the board, at least, with the Spiderling and the House Spider here. We'll see if it's able to get any work done. We do already have Lee Sin in hand, and we should be looking to be able to level up this Lee Sin pretty early as well, with things like the Deep Meditation and Guiding Touch already in hand.
Speaking of leveling up, let us talk about this Twisted Fate win condition, because he does have the blue card into the Betty Croaker as well as the pick a card. And, Hunter didn't get down the Lee Sin on this turn because it is 5 mana, will be able to get it down next turn, And then basically we are 2 turns away from having any kind of threat potential onto this Lee Sin, or onto this Twisted Fate. And I'm not necessarily sure that you want to play the Lee Sin on 5 here. You do then open yourself up to the potential of a, any kind of damaging spell into the Ravenous Flock. And if you go for the Lee Sin on 6, go for the Lee Sin on 6, then you open yourself up to the Arachnoid Sentry. I don't think HunterV is actually going to be able to get to this Lee Sin, or get to this Twisted Fate, unless he uses the Sonic Wave on this Spacey Sketcher.
Yeah, and I think honestly that might end up having to be the case here. It feels like a really weird play, but hey, we're already in a world where we just played a Zenith Blade on a Spacey Sketcher, so we've seen weirder things, and it looks like we're not even going to get the chance to do that this turn, but we will get the Lee Sin down. Now, we could just go for multiple Lee Sin challenges onto this Twisted Fate to try to go after it. We do already see it pick a card in hand. It's probably going to level up, maybe even next turn, who knows. Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how Hunter navigates this in the very early parts of the game here, just going into turn 6. I feel like you got to drop Lee Sin here, no?
Either that, I mean, you have to start. So it's a little bit rough. Generally, when your opponent goes for the blue card, it is sort of telegraphing that they have some kind of capability for a Twisted Fate level up. I mean, not like gold card or red card are especially effective against a deck like this, but now I would expect we see the Arachnoid Sentry down onto the Lee Sin. I mean, maybe you deny that, and that's how we get the challenger to kill the Twisted Fate. But outside of doing exactly that, and that is not an unreasonable play by any means.
No, I don't think it's unreasonable at all. I mean, it's so interesting how in certain matchups, Twisted Fate has 2 uses. It can either just be played strictly to have the utility of playing one of the 3 wild cards, maybe some AoE against an aggro deck with that red card, or in a lot of other matchups, it just threatens to win the game on his level up if you don't deal with it. And this Arachnoid Sentry completely stuffs this Lee Sin for being able to kill this TF. So we come back to square one that you mentioned earlier, Boulevard. Do we end up having to play Sonic Wave on this Spacey Sketcher just to ensure that we're able to remove this TF? Because in my experience, it seems okay to leave TF on the board when you're like 4 or 5 draws away, but I promise you it is not.
When your opponent hasn't played the pick a card yet, yeah, it doesn't really feel like you need to. And honestly, the Sonic Wave is a pretty powerful resource. I would be a little surprised to see it come out. And yeah, it's actually not going to be done. I think he might still need 1 more draw card in order to actually get this Twisted Fate leveled, even with the pick a card. And it is a little bit awkward because you don't necessarily want to play the pick a card going into turn 8 when you already have the Riptide Rex in hand, because you're not going to take advantage of the cards that you actually draw off of it.
All right, well, we are gonna get the Zenith Blade onto this Lee Sin. So the Lee Sin OTK is online. Maybe not this turn, but possibly next turn. We'll see.
He doesn't have anywhere near enough attack for that.
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 from the Sonic Wave. That's 6. We do have another Zenith Blade. That's 7. So yeah, right now the most we have is 14. We'll see if he's able to buff up this Lee Sin more. If we draw something, it looks like, yep, all right. Well, there we go. Now it's actually technically on board if we go with the Zenith Blade here. I'm trying to think if there's anything Asher could have that Hunter would be worried about going in with this Lee Sin next turn.
If you don't Zenith Blade here, then you do, of course, have the consideration of Arachnoid Sentry. And I don't know if Asher, I haven't done a great job of tracking this Twisted Fate. It's either going to exactly level off of this, or it's going to be 1 off. And in that case, you do always have the possibility of, okay, I drew a salvage, that means I level. The question is, how much value are you going to get out of the Twisted Fate after that? Because if Hunter is going for lethal on the following turn, I don't know if you're going to have enough cards available to play to get to the gold card.
Playing the Eye of the Dragon too, so that is going to be 1 less mana going into the next turn. I'm sorry you guys can't see the TF. And oh wait, never mind, you do see it. All right. I was like, because both screens are off. I saw it first on the right hand side. So, but
okay, so he does have 3 playable cards to get to the gold card. He will have to flock his own unit to do it. Yeah. But it is very critically is possible.
And there is a deny. But I don't think we'll have enough mana if we do go for the game here. I don't think...
Yeah, if we're going for lethal, I don't think we have deny mana left over.
With a leveled TF and how many cards Asher has, I don't know if you can actually convince yourself to go for lethal here, but it looks like Hunter is just going to go ahead and go for it. I don't know, man. When your opponent has 9 cards in hand as a TF player and you have a level TF, do you ever try to go for this? Or do you just have to?
HunterV says the answer is yes. He says, yeah, I've got to go for it because, I mean, obviously we know it's not going to work out, and it looks a little rough.
Hush. If you hush the TF. Oh, he doesn't hush the TF. Oh. He just threw.
I'm trying to... Oh, man, Asher's hand keeps flickering out. I'm trying to see if he had lethal with the hush. I'm 90% sure that he did.
Oh,
but, I mean,
man.
okay, so the hush is super risky. Because if your opponent just knocks you and fervors their Twisted Fate, then you don't have lethal anymore.
I mean, yeah, but what does saving the hush get you?
This is not a matchup, rather, where the hush gets that much value. So, yeah, I would have liked to see the hush onto the Twisted Fate. I think the consideration was just, I don't necessarily have lethal off of this. There are a lot of things that he can do to dodge it still. But, yeah, I think the hush would have been nice.
Pretty sure the hush won the game there. The hush won the game there. The hush 100% won the game there.
Yeah, I mean, well,
damn.
It won the game because we know Asher's hand.
Well, yeah. But on the bright side, this does mean, I know there's a lot of things going on in the stack, but I think this means that TF dies after everything's said and done. Oh, yeah. Man, if he had the... I'm trying to think of what Hunter's thought process might have been behind not playing that hush and why we're holding it back. Because I feel like if you already made the plan of, I'm going to go all in, I'm going for this turn, why not just spend your 2 mana?
Consider this. Throw is a very strong word, because I don't know that Hunter loses the game here.
No,
the Lee Sin is going to survive. Mm-hmm. The Twisted Fate is dealt with. 2 cards are going to be discarded. There's no Leviathan. There's no setup like that. I think the Riptide next turn is going to be a big deal.
So the hush actually saved the Lee Sin from dying to the Scorched Earth. All right, well, I mean... whatever.
I mean, yeah, it saved the Lee Sin, but it could have pushed lethal. So, like, tomato, potato.
Yeah, I don't know. So now 12 health. The question is, do you live? You have a Guiding Touch in hand. You have a Deny. So next turn, almost definitely you'll win with the Lee Sin just because you have the Deny.
You're not. This Lee Sin does not live.
You don't think this Lee Sin lives, huh?
There's a Riptide Rex coming down.
Oh, it's yeah, and he has the mana for it. He's going to be able to get the damage through for the Plunder effect.
So if you do play Eye of the Dragon first, which is very reasonable, yeah, maybe the Lee Sin lives. I think it's going to come down to the Riptide Rex, as we have seen so many games before. How is Riptide Rex feeling today? Is Lee Sin looking nice? Do you prefer Eye of the Dragon? What are we going for here?
Ooh. Does Bastion help out here? Bastion does provide a 2 damage buffer to this Riptide. You gotta imagine Hunter knows Riptide's coming out. So, wow, okay, no, just passes.
Or he doesn't.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, that's you don't have enough for like a Deny and a Bastion, and that's just gonna be game. Oh man. Oh, that feels so bad after seeing that hush play.
And I mean, even if another unit had come down, it doesn't necessarily change the way that things play out. Rex is a fickle beast. It would only take 4 shots to kill the Lee Sin anyway, and Bastion mana would have been off the table if we had played another unit, so it's not like we could have put the Lee Sin outside of the range of that. But yeah, with that Lee Sin gone, Asher should be able to pick this one up. That said, though, now, I'm trying to think of what a Lee Sin top deck looks like here, and I think it is still lethal because you get to deny the Arachnoid Sentry and then play this Zenith Blade, but he doesn't find it.
Well, I guess the question now, though, is you do have Zed and Zenith Blade. That's a thing.
I mean, Zed and the Zenith is, it's not... Is it lethal? No, it's not lethal because only the Zed is going to have the Overwhelm. I'm sitting here, we've seen a lot of leveled Zeds, and I am getting lost in which one copies the keywords. I was like, actually, is 2 6-attack Overwhelms coming in? But no, it's not quite there.
I mean, you have a Bastion and you have a Deny in hand. And because of this salvage, if Asher does go for the Arachnoid Sentry, do we still deny the Arachnoid Sentry ability and then go in with the Zed with this? Or, well, no. Actually, is this the last Zenith Blade?
I don't think it matters at this point.
It might not matter,
I
but
don't think it is, though. I think this is the second.
okay. So we're not playing the Zenith Blade. We're just gonna go and try to get the trades here. We do have the Sonic Wave to buff up the Zed. We also have the Bastion if he opts to play the Bastion going into the Riptide block. But looks like Asher kind of already knows that's probably not a good block. Not going to go ahead and line that one up. Is going to line up these tokens, though, these Spiderlings. So this doesn't really feel like it's like 100% Asher's game. Or actually, wait, is that two Leviathan?
He has two. Yeah, that's two Leviathans.
I take it
buddy.
back. I take it all back.
Welcome to the shipyard. The fleet of Leviathans going to come down at both the start of Asher's turn and then on Hunter's turn as well. And honestly, I think the attack from the Leviathan just ends the game.
Oh, man. That feels so bad to see that Hush turn. And, you know, I really hope Hunter goes back and looks at looks at the VODs for this or watches the YouTube video because, Jesus, man, that is going to be absolutely nuts to see that Hush just absolutely missed winning the game here for HunterV. And Fresh Lobster coming in at a fantastic time right now. We are.
It looks like he has sort of realized all this as he does hover the Darius emote for us specifically. Doesn't actually fire it off to Asher.
Fresh Lobster, thank you for the raid, my man. Welcome everybody from Fresh Lobster stream. We are just about to end game one here. It looks like with HunterV going down. Gonna go ahead and see if Asher is able to finish this off, but. Man, this is. I just hope that we do get to see after this loss from HunterV, if HunterV does lose here, which looks like is going to happen, that we still get to see this Fearsome deck play because God, I loved seeing that deck.
I'm not gonna lie, I love lobster raids more than any other streamer because he comes in and you just see like the lobster claws flying in every like you got raided by a bunch of lobsters.
Yeah,
I love
I'm
it.
not gonna lie, his emotes are on point. It's even the red face with the mustache, I gotta love it. It's almost as on point as his mustache itself. So, but what is up, everybody? Join in the finals here. Good to have you. We'll see who is able to take this home. And because you guys are just joining, we actually, if you didn't know, the TA next to both people's names there, we have Asher and HunterV both on Team Aretuza going head-to-head here in the finals. We actually had 3 Aretuza members in the top 4 of this tournament. So we'll see who is going to be on top here for Team Aretuza.
Things might be taking a turn here. I am not a man of quick math when we're actually in the game. But if Asher doesn't have lethal, he's in a bit of a rough spot. And because there is a Dragonling blocker, I don't know that he does.
Yeah, no, this is not lethal. This is 100% not lethal. I mean, you're still going to... Wait, for... No. That's lethal if you drop the Leviathan, right? It'll proc at the beginning of the turn. That's going to be the 7 damage.
You mean the... Yeah, your opponent's at 5, bud.
Oh, no. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was going to be at 3. So, no, that's not lethal. And we have a Lee Sin. And suddenly, things are back on the table for Hunter to take this home. This is going to be insane if Hunter is able to take this now. We don't see any stuns. Or actually, no, there is still an Arachnoid Sentry, but we do have a deny on the side of Hunter.
And we have the possibility to give the Lee Sin 7 attack with the gem and the Sonic Wave.
Yeah, there's plenty of attack. That is not the problem.
And yeah, I mean, with 2 deny, there's no top deck burn that you could have. We see the Death's Hand. That's not enough, and it looks like HunterV, despite a couple of potential missteps, is going to find his way back into this game and will still be picking up the win here in game number 1.
Oh my God, and he knows it too. He got 2 deny in hand. He is scared of nothing. He is just going to go for it, pull in the Leviathan even. Going to do exactly 7 lethal. Wow. What a hell of a game, especially after not playing that Hush earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, this game could have been over like 5 turns ago. This all we needed to do was play a Hush, and unfortunately, it was not played. And this game went on for a lot longer than we had anticipated. But Hunter's still able to pick it up there, going up 1-0 versus Asher. What a game.
Look, man, you still get that W, and that's all that matters here. You are up a game, and that means we're going to switch over to...
It's in chat going wild now. No, please. Oh, wait. Oh, was it banned? Asher, why? Asher banned the Fearsome deck in the finals. Oh my god, what's the Ionia card again?
Go for it.
Okay. For those who are just joining us from Lobster Stream or just in general, so the other deck played by HunterV was playing Go For It, the new Ionia card from the KDA cards. And it was all Fearsome units and Wraith Callers and Doom Beasts and Nocturne and Frenzied Skitterers. It was pure bliss watching this deck play. I loved it. Unfortunately being banned out here. So instead going to get the Shell Shocker Scouts, which we saw earlier as well. Shell Shocker. We'll see if it's able to be more aggressive than this TF Swain deck can combat here in the beginning of the game. We'll see if any House Spiders and whatnot are drawn.
All right, so I know that you're a really big fan of this Shell Shocker. You talked on the day about how you really like this ingenious tech that has come into the Scout deck. Being a big Scout aficionado yourself, as apparently most of the casters are.
I mean, listen, I have slowly but surely been sold just a little bit on Shell Shocker. I don't think it's nearly as bad as I once thought it was. It works incredibly well with Ranger's Resolve. It works super well with Genevieve, mainly because it just allows you to continue to develop a really wide field through the beginning of the game. You know, any sort of Withering Wail or Vile Feast or 1 damage ability just gets blown out by Ranger's Resolve, and this deck really utilizes that to its advantage when it comes to going wide and things like Shell Shocker and Genevieve. Unfortunately, Ranger's Resolve, it would have saved the Senna there, but that's not the value you want to get in this deck, right? You want Ranger's Resolve. You want a juicy Resolve on like four followers, 4 units, right?
I mean, as long as you can get it down on something like a Twisted Fate red card, because we do see these Ravenous Flocks all lined up in Asher's hand already, and not going for a block says the Shell Shocker's not a big deal. And, this isn't one of those hyper-aggressive blinding assault into a turn 5 misfortune levels that we've kind of come to expect out of Scouts over the course of the weekend. Instead, despite being the Lucian Senna version, is going to play a little bit slower, and unfortunately we throw down the Lucian just as our opponent finds the Death's Hand. Now, I think the Ranger's Resolve would almost certainly come out for that, as we do have, enough mana left available to still get that Senna down. It would tap our opponent out, but doesn't even go for it. Now we have both of the Lovers Duo online here. It feels weird to call it the Lovers Duo, because I'm pretty sure that's Zaya or Khan in League of Legends, but look, there's a lot of couples coming into Runeterra these days.
I'm cool with it. You said it. I was going to say something about it. I like it. The Lovers Duo. Until Zaya Rakan is in the game, I'm cool with Lovers Duo. Until then, Senna and Lucian can take that title. But holy wow. Yeah, this is what you want to see going wide with this deck. Unfortunately, no Genevieve or anything like that at this current point in time. But I guess my concern is with 2 Jackdaw winners on the field, how much damage are you really going to be able to push through on the side of Hunter?
A fair amount, actually. These don't line up as blockers for the Senna. You do have the Challenger in this Fleet Feather Tracker. Oh, man. Are we going to see an, I want to say, organic Lucian level up? To me, it always feels like Senna dying is the primary level up for Lucian, and then the 4 units dying is sort of a backup. But, I mean, the way the card is worded, that does seem to be the primary one. Are we actually going to get to see... Okay, yeah, I like this a lot. Throwing out this Lucian first, say, if you want to block this with the Jack the Winner, then I will take my free 10 damage. Thank you very much. And even if, if Asher throws out a Death's Hand here, there's a possibility that you just let him do it to push 10 damage. Yeah, not even going to go for it. Wow. It's just going to be the 7 coming through.
Yeah, 7 damage, but also still have Lucian Senna notably on the field, and that is a hard duo to deal with.
And I think this Relentless Pursuit, is this just going to be like a...
No way.
Is this it?
No way. There is
You would
no
have
way.
to... SJW, it might just be.
Is this honestly going to be this quick of a game with this? If we pull...
There are some play arounds that Asher can go for here, using a Death's Hand in response and then following up with a Flock. But at the moment, you have been sitting on 3 Ravenous Flock in the entire game. Your opponent's units have not been touched yet. And he does have the Ranger's Resolve. Okay, so we are going to see the Death's Hand. I mean, you can Rangers Resolve this. You cannot Rangers Resolve this. At the end of the day, it doesn't save it from a Ravenous Flock.
Yeah, I don't think you actually need to play Ranger's Resolve here. And if you think to yourself, yeah, my opponent's going to play Ravenous Flock, it doesn't matter. And I also don't think, I mean, at this point, Hunter has exhausted his offense. Like, we have a Shell Shocker and a Ranger's Resolve left in hand. This is the turn. You either win or you don't. And unfortunately, I think with that Ravenous Flock coming out, yeah, there it is. I don't think Hunter is going to be able to take this one. It's just not quite enough damage. Or if we go wide, what is that going to be? That's
It's going to be, what?
5?
Oh, you can't block Lucian or Senna depending on how these attacks actually get lined up.
Oh, wait.
The double strike is threatening lethal. Oh, the Fleet Feather's actually going to level the Lucian anyway.
Yeah, but that... Alright, so the... Oh, wait. Oh, he can't... Alright, but he's not going to get the effect on the same turn, though, of the rally, unfortunately.
No.
Okay, so close. Oh, wow.
I mean, there's no threats left in the hand of Asher for the time being. You know, he's got this Riptide that is coming up on turn 8. We don't have an activator for that. Betty Croker doesn't have something that's done alongside to draw it. Island Navigator's a pretty decent pickup here. Our opponent is down to 1. There's a lot of lethal potential on the side of Hunter.
So, actually, even though Hunter is completely out of steam, this Island Navigator all but seals the deal, I think, because you just are able to go wide enough where your opponent is going to have to let damage through. And yeah, here's the Flock. We're going to play the Navigator. We're going to get the additional unit. There's just not enough block or removal on the side of Asher, I think, to go ahead and take this. Yeah, we got the Croaker. That's an additional blocker. Great. What else do we got off the top? That's not going to do it. I think this is game. Wow.
I didn't see what came off the top of the salvage. Yeah,
Another
just
Sentry.
too many units, and that is going to be the end of Duels of Runeterra 17.
Wow.
Hunter, fire off the emote.
Just
Go
do
ahead.
it. Click it.
Just use the Jinx emote. You earned it. Yeah, the Shen GG. Okay, giving his teammate the handshake, and that is going to be HunterV picking up Duels of Runeterra 17 Part 2, your 4th winner on the weekend.
And HunterV has been crowned your champion, bringing... I mean, it was banned in the finals, which is super unfortunate because I really wanted to see it in the finals. But bringing Fearsome Go Get It with him, and man, that was awesome to see throughout the day. Did see a lot of other Spider aggro and Fearsome decks from other players as well. I think Zinc actually also brought the same deck because they had worked together on it. So, but good stuff. And to give you an idea, again, of why you should be at the cast, that Hush play... that we were like, man, you would have won the game if you played that Hush. Yeah, we asked him about it in the interview. He told us about it. He told us his input. We actually asked him a whole lot of other questions too. So you got to be there to hear the interview. It's fun stuff. It's awesome. So next time, make sure you tune in. It's usually every other week for Duels of Runeterra. I do know the next one is in 2 weeks. Usually around the same time on Sundays will be the finals and semifinals. That's anytime between, you know, like 6 and 9 p.m. is usually when it's going to start. So you just gotta kind of hop in and cross your fingers that we're on the finals, right? So, but as always, everybody, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed all these tournament videos, and looking forward to casting the next one. But stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works for you, and peace out.